Well, technology and social media make up a large part of our day, and it's important to really take some time and step away from it, especially for our children.
And it's so difficult to do that with the kids in mind. Well, here to tell us about Digital Detox is Lisa Ulery, the Director of Technology and Library Services at University School. Thanks for being here, Lisa.
Good to see you.
I am so excited about this topic because I've got a 20-year-old that we have been dealing with the fact that that phone is attached to his hand ever since he got it when we waited a long time, like maybe 15, 14, 15 years old.
That is waiting a long time these days.
Right. And how old is how old is Annabelle?
3.5.
Okay.
She's not addicted at this point.
But is she?
There are some 4-year-olds and toddlers.
Does she play with yours?
Yes, but
play with your phone?
Yeah, but it's not.
Lisa, we've got issues. Everybody watching says, okay, you really. Grandkids, you know, our own children. How do we take this away from them? How do we detox our kids?
Well, as you mentioned, it is such a difficult topic because kids are surrounded by technology. They just start in the morning with a screen and then go to video games and TV. So if we as parents want them to have an experience that's different from that, we really have to be proactive about making that happen because they don't know any different. It's their whole childhood has been around technology.
Right. It's different for us, but for them. So why do kids become addicted? What kind of signs can we look for if they're on it?
When are they truly addicted?
When are they truly addicted? Well, so when you see kids only preferring to play with a screen or a digital device, that's a time for a parent to become a little bit more mindful about introducing a new activity or trying to do more family-oriented events instead of individual screen time events. But we know that not only does it become part of their pattern, so, when I have downtime, I go to play video games, but our brains are actually wired to enjoy using technology. We're curious people as humans, and so when we start to find things out and learn things, it activates the dopamine sensors in our brain, which give us pleasure, which make us want to do it even more. So they're fighting not only their habits, but they're also fighting brain chemistry that's telling them you need to be on your device.
Let's talk about that, Lisa, because I think it's fascinating. Dopamine is this little chemical discharge that happens inside your head when you get good news. If you're playing a game, like we're going to play a game a little later, dopamine is going to be flying back and forth. Yeah, but when you get a text or when you get a phone notification, we are trained now for that dopamine to go off, and we get excited to find out, who's calling me or who's responding to a post I put on social media. These kids are being somewhat addicted to that dopamine send-off. How do we curb this?
Well, so I think the most important thing that families can do is to talk about balance. And so one of the ways you might start is to do a whole technology inventory. So there's apps, screen time apps that'll tell you how often you're using your device and what you're using it for. You can record how often they're playing video games just to say, wow, look at how much time you're really spending engaged in technology. And then you want to prioritize. So there's inherently more value with active technology use than with passive technology use. So building games and building worlds in Minecraft is more valuable than watching YouTube videos of somebody else doing it. And Skyping with grandma is better than playing Candy Crush.
Okay, that's such a good point.
So you want to prioritize how you use technology.
Well, and we know that it's happening at home. Kids get home from school, they're in their bed, they're on the couch, they have the device with them, but it's also happening in school. So how can we be sure that teachers and administrators are working to kind of help this addiction too?
Teachers are very mindful of the topic of technology because they see so much use in their classrooms. Teachers, like at University School where I work, we have a one-to-one laptop program. Kids at the earliest learning ages are having their own device, but they're using it in really creative and innovative ways, creating projects and presentations and research. But they also know the value of handwriting and reading on paper instead of a screen, and music and art and play. And so there's really a strive to make balance in their lives.
So at University School specifically, because this is what you know, there is this balance that you make sure that, okay, they've been looking at a screen for this long, let's do something and let's put that in. Okay, so I think that's
Absolutely.
wonderful. How do we encourage other school systems and other people out there in educational situations to do the exact same thing? It's a great idea.
I think all schools know that this is a challenge for us as educators. We don't want our kids to be only one type of learner. We want them to have active experiential learning. And so the more that schools see the benefit of that, the more that they put emphasis and priority on that type of learning experience.
And at the end of the day, we want our kids to learn how to use technology and social media because it is such a way of the future.
They help me.
Right.
They help me with my stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't want to.
Right. We're not saying don't ever use technology, but just be thoughtful, be balanced, use it.
And Skype grandma.
And Skype grandma. She wants to see you.
Right. I think it's wonderful too. A lot of families, they have a no tech zone during dinner. They have a place to put all the phones during times like that. But I will say this, if you don't jump on this during the teen years, you know, it can get out of hand by the time they hit their 20s, because if they do go off to college, you can't control it.
And then it affects how they have relationships. How
it does.
Yes, and even earlier to say, if you've never said we don't use our devices during the school week, then they never know that that's a thing. So the earlier you set those rules of
Lisa,
2 hours before bed or whatever your family rule is, it's important.
Giving it up to university schools, you're on top of this, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being here. If you want more information on university schools, there you go. It's such a great website. How easy is this? us.edu. And then, of course, boyseducation.org is also another website. You can check it out as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This segment of It's About You was sponsored by University School.